Hey, welcome back to That 70s Card. This is John Keating. That 70 Card Show. That 70s Card Show. All the letters were pronounced that last time around. Anyway, we're back to the basement tapes. This is volume 4, talking about the cards, the sets, the types of cards in my collection. There's baseball players, football players, hockey players, football players, soccer players, cricketers, jockeys, all sorts of fun stuff. But these guys here coming up, a little bit different thing here. This is, let's see here. I guess we can bring something up here and talk a little bit about the old 1911 American tobacco types of nations. T113. Again, tobacco, I don't know what we were doing back in the early 1900s, but a lot of it had to do with caramel and tobacco. So, ATC, American Tobacco Company, talking about cards here. So let's see what we got here from Beckett OPG. There is no description available. There are 50 total cards in this set, none more important or less important than the others. But it's a unique set, and we'll get into that in a second. But these are the standard tobacco size, we think. Beckett has no description available, like I said. I have, let's see what I have here. I think I have 24 of these. So I'm about halfway done this set, but I'm not really halfway done this set because the problem with this set is that it contains hustler backs, recruit bluebacks, recruit redbacks, Rosa, sub Rosa, small text, sweet caps. Those are the ones I have. So I only have 5 varieties spread among those 24 cards. And there isn't a lot of information out there on either Beckett or TCDB. But they do say 50 different cards, but there are the different backs as well. So it has all sorts of people. And if you're scrolling through this, you can see there are people from everywhere: Afghanistan, Arabia, Australia, Abyssinia. I think that's my brain. My brain's an abyss sometimes. But stuff from all over the world. There is an American Indian on there, and but otherwise you have Burma, spelled with an H. All sorts of fun stuff. Abyssinia, Afghanistan, American Indian, Arabia, Australia, Austria, Belgium, Burma with an H, Canada, Chile, China, Cuba, Egypt, England, France, Germany, Greece, Holland, Hungary, Iceland, India, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Java, Korea, Madagascar, Mexico, Morocco, New Zealand, Norway, Persia, Philippine Islands, Poland, Russia, Samoa, Scotland, Serbia, Siam, Siberia, South Africa, Boer, South Africa, Kafir, and the South Sea Islands are special. Spain, Sweden, Syria, Tasmania, Turkey, U.S. America, and Wales. Let's go through the countries I've been to, if we shall we. So I've been to Canada. So let's take a look at the Canadian one. Wonderful Canadian wearing plaid and a fun little Elmer Fudd type hat there. Where else have I been? I've been to China. There is a Chinese picture depicted. What's that say on it? It's got a nice little Chinese flag on the back, I think. Oh, no, that's wrong. That was the wrong picture. Here we go. It's got a Chinese person wearing a white collar with a red robe and a green hat on there. The back of it is interesting. The back of it says China's present area is about 4 million square miles. Maybe we'll dig into America there in a second because nobody wants to hear about old China. Been to Blighty, which is England. There's a gentleman that looks like an English person there with a red tie, a vest, way too many layers on, at least 3 layers plus a kerchief, as they might say. Been to Greece. Let's see what Greece has in store here. Greece is a gentleman wearing a vest and some sort of scarf and a wonderful, wonderful mustache. That's what I think of when I remember Greece. I've been to Iceland, and Iceland has a gentleman with, he looks pretty warm there. And I've been to Ireland, Ireland has a gentleman with a nice hat and a bow tie, probably the best dressed so far that we've seen. Very, and I think the Blarney Castle was in the back there. Very sophisticated, very evolved Irishman. Proud to call myself one of them. Been to Italy. Italy has a gentleman wearing a very interesting hat with ribbons and bows on it and matching neck accoutrement and half of what looks like a jacket on top of a green vest. Who else we got? We have Japan. Been to Japan, right? I would not recognize that Japanese person. They look like they're wearing a nice little, maybe an evening robe, perhaps a smoking jacket, and interesting headwear, and a mustache with red lips, only matched by the 1956 Mickey Mantle card. Been to Java. It wasn't called Java at that time. It was called Indonesia. There's a man with what looks like a wrapped around trumpet on his head on top of a red scarf, some flowers above it. Don't know what's going on there. This guy has got a lot going on here. So the Javanese were very colorful in their dress back then. Been to Mexico. We've all been to Mexico. That's how I picture a Mexican person, perhaps. Big hat, big scarf, a nice spliff coming out of their lips. Persia is not where I've been, but that's Iran. I know that much. Let's see here. Siam. I've been to Siam. Siam is modern day Thailand, I guess, or Vietnam or Laos or Cambodia or whatever. Anyway, nice Siamese person there. Colonial architecture in the back. Kudos to colonial architecture for appropriating this card. Where else have we been? We've been to USA, America. Let's talk about USA, America. This guy is dressed for something, something. It's taken a while to load this up. I don't know. But anyway, perhaps I broke it. Gentleman looks like in front of a cosmopolitan city. Nice little Virginia Slim, perhaps. A cigarette coming out of his mouth. Interesting lapels, skinny tie, all that stuff. This, the youngest of the powers of, is the richest, according to the back of the card. In 1909, the United States led the world in the production of corn, tobacco, coal, petroleum, pig iron, steel, and copper. And it figures, let's see, this is difficult to read here. And its figures were second for wheat, oats, gold, and silver. The imports were 1,475,000. Oh, maybe that's more than that. Maybe that's 1 billion. I don't know. I can't read. Anyway, there's a lot going on in America. This is a sweet catback. Again, these are the 1911 American Tobacco Company types of cards. I want to say that there are, boy, it'll have the same advertisements that the other ATC cards have. Same packaging, of course, and the cigarette packs, but trying to find something a little bit nicer for the backs. I will tell you again that I have, at this moment, I have Hustler backs, Recruit blue backs, Recruit red backs, Rosa small text backs, and Sweet Cap backs. So a lot of cards in that set and a lot of backs in that set as things played out there in the early 1900s, of course. Anyway, TCDB does not differentiate them as far as their the types of backs, and neither does Beckett OPG. So, although Beckett does, yeah. Let me see if I can get Beckett on board here. Struggle with them sometimes, but let me see what we got here. So we have again the Hustler backs, the Sweet Cap backs, the Jack Rose backs, the Recruit red backs, the Recruit blue backs, Sub Rosa large text, and the Sub Rosa small text. 50 cards each. So if you were to do a master set, that's 7 backs times 50 for 350 different cards. Not a hard set to complete. Again, this is one of those things that I pick up as I go. Very colorful historical cards. Obviously, not necessarily politically correct these days as the world gets smaller, but this was a snapshot in time back in the day of how things were perceived or perhaps how they were back in the day with different artists drawing caricatures of different countries' denizens. So that is, again, the 1911 American tobacco types of cards, the T113s. So we're getting up there in the T's, the T113s, 50 total cards. Get some of those. Very interesting bunch of colorful cards. A lot of people smoking, of course, because we're selling cigarettes and tobacco. So many of these people are depicted smoking, which you don't find on the old ball cards that often. So cheers to you guys and gals. T113, 1911, American Tobacco Company types of nations. All right. So that's that. That's it for this one. We'll catch you on the next one. Basement Tapes, Volume 4 is done.